All right, today we have something really, really serious to discuss. Letcher County, Kentucky is a fucking mess. Sorry to drop an F-bomb right off the bat, but it is a mess in that county. Lives are at danger, and people want to talk, and they want to get exposure, and they want the case to get all attention on, because in a catch-22, people's lives are in danger if they talk. But if too many people are talking, you can't kill everybody. So pay attention today. This is a very, very serious matter. This case hasn't caught on fire yet, but it needs your attention and it needs your help. So the devil's in the details. Let's get into Letcher County and all the mess that's happening there. We're going to talk to, again, Jody from the Defense Rests in Australia, YouTuber who's been covering this. She's made contact with people in Kentucky. We're gonna get into that right now, bring them on, and we're gonna handle this with kid gloves, but this is a huge, huge issue. Don't miss this. Let's go. All right, so here backstage, I've got a panel of people. We've got Jody from the Defense Rest. We did an interview earlier today. Hopefully you caught it. If you didn't, go back and catch it. It has a lot of primer material about how she got into it and how she met people in the area that is related to this case. We're talking about the shooting of Judge Kevin Mullins in the judge's chamber by Mickey Stines. It was a kind of an open shut case for a lot of people, right? Everybody saw what they saw. So it's no question Mickey Stines shot the judge. Why do we have a trial? Why do we care? Well, because the devil is in the details. Why Kevin Mullins got shot and killed is $1 million question. If Kevin Mullins got shot, hell, there's reasons to believe that maybe there's something bigger going on. This case literally might go all the way up to higher level officials in the state. Who knows how high this is going to go? This is a case with monumental implications. And in my opinion, my gut feeling tells me people are already being killed in this county who have information about this that they won't allow them to come to trial. If they get close to coming into trial and telling their story, people are going to have accidents, whether it's drug overdoses, whether it's hangings, whether it's car accidents. People are just going to die in this case. And as long as mainstream media acts like that's unfortunate. We were in the middle of a big case and somebody just died, and that's as far as you're going to go with it, we're never going to get to the answers. So it's time to start to open that up. Be honest with yourselves. Think critically. It's not just a coincidence when major players in a major case that can send lots of people to jail and bankrupt a lot of people. It's not just a coincidence when people start dying left and right in a case like that. At least that's my opinion. Now I'm going to bring Jody on right now. Again, we had an interview this morning. Jody, are you there? Can I hear you?
I most certainly am. And yes, they do need to be held accountable now. Yesterday. 20 years ago.
Yeah, and like I said, the difficulty of this is we're in that danger zone between if you say something too early and you're the only one who has information, you're like a dead person walking, because they're probably never going to let that come to light. If you tell everybody, they can't kill everybody, right?
That's
so
right.
And again, yeah, and I have to be careful. We're not accusing people. We are not accusing specific people of murder. What I'm saying is it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that when people mysteriously die around a high-profile case, it's probably not just accidents. It's probably not just suicides. It's probably something else. But I can't name names. What's that?
They were hoping that it wouldn't get to that high-profile place, and I hope they're in need of some adult diapers right about now.
Yeah, I feel like it's already too late. This case is already blowing up. It's already, like I said, I think it's already led to multiple murders. It seems like. I mean, I've got one that's high on my list, if not two high on my list. And now I'm thinking, after talking to your people, we've got murders that may last. I mean, I may get it. Anyways, let's just get going. First of all, I want you to tell me a little bit about who we're going to bring up on stage with us. Kind of tell me how you met them, and let's get them up on stage.
They're the important ones. So basically, if you've not seen before, Tyre Adams was the first woman to come forward with allegations against Judge Mullins after he was shot by the sheriff. And she did an interview with Brian Enton. And then subsequently others have come forward too, but only just the tip of the iceberg are actually game enough to speak out publicly because of all of the
Yeah, by the way, you mentioned Brian Enton, and we've talked about, I think Court TV went out there and recorded, and they haven't aired their segment. I think there's a documentary coming. I don't even think people in America realize this case is about to pop off, and there's going to be there's going to be major media with their hand up everybody's ass trying to figure out what happened. Unfortunately, I personally don't trust mainstream media.
No, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
that's why
right. Because I think not to side tangent it too much, but I think Americans a lot are shifting away from mainstream media. The CNNs, the Fox News, they're losing credibility because YouTubers ask more difficult questions, and they get real people talking, and they like we're doing, and a lot of times mainstream media just wants sensational headlines.
Yeah,
so
that goes with our industry as well. On this platform, you've got to be very selective and very careful who you listen to, and yeah.
So I'm going to bring up Taya very soon. I want you to tell me a little bit about Brandy as well, because I don't want to, what I'm afraid is if we get Taya up, we're going to talk to her forever. We're going to forget Brandy backstage. We can't do that. So I want to make sure that you tell us a little bit about her as well. We'll get both of them up on screen, and then we'll kind of start together.
Beautiful.
So tell me about Brandy.
Oh, okay. So Taya and Brandy met when she was 16, basically. Now, as you know, Taya is the one that's come forward with all the allegations, or the first one, and Brandy is basically like the backbone of the support network that they have going down there. She's provided safe houses and support to these women for the last 20 years and has never, ever had any legal issues. She's never been charged with anything. She's got no criminal history, nothing at all, but has weathered the storm along with all of the victims as well. And she is just a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the details. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of victims, as you can imagine, may not recall everything at the time. They can block things out. They can, for whatever reasons. But Brandy is the one that's been observing it all and in the background and has all the little contextual stuff, so to speak.
So if I were to summarize these two before we bring them on stage, I would say Taya is a good example of somebody who actually got trapped in the system.
Correct.
And we're gonna get her perspective of kind of how she got trapped in the system, her first interactions with Judge Kevin Mullins,
how they kept her in it.
And Brandy, while not in maybe the criminal system, is all around that area, right? Like you said, helping out with safe houses and have seen the comings and goings. And while herself doesn't have the criminal record, lots of and grew up with these people, went to school with these people, the Kevin Mullinses, the Mickey Stines. She knows these people. She's in the county. So I think we're going to get some great perspective. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just, without further ado, hopefully Taya's there. I see her cameras and microphone off, so when I bring her up, hopefully she's there. But hey, woohoo! That was massive.
I'm here. Yes, sorry.
I'll bring up Brandy as well. Brandy, how you doing?
I've known Brandy longer than that. I've known her family since 4th grade. Her dad was my 4th grade teacher.
Holy crap.
My gate teacher.
Yeah.
My gifted and talented teacher.
Well, first of all, let me say this. The subject matter that we're going to talk about is extremely difficult. You have probably lost families and friends, exes that are of suspicious nature, terrible things. I've listened to some of your stuff backstage. You've had terrible tragedies that have happened in your lives all around you. So I want to make sure you understand this isn't about sensationalism. This is about trying to get to the truth. I think that county's a mess. I think people need to go to jail. I think people at high levels need to go to jail. And I'm putting my life at risk as well coming out, because if I ever get any kind of information that can put somebody in jail, I might not make it to talk about it, So kudos to all of you for being brave enough to talk about your story. I understand you're putting your own lives at risk talking about these things. And I won't ask you, of course, to do anything that's going to put your life at risk, but it's that catch-22 I told you about. We're in that bubble zone. If you talk to enough people, they can't do anything because it would be too suspicious. So if you get out there in front of a bunch of people, it's kind of like a life insurance policy.
Yeah.
What you don't want to be is have that really critical piece of information that you're going to go to one person on. Then they just shut you up before you go to that one person and you're in big trouble. So, all right. Well, look, I know from talking to you ladies behind scenes, everyone's got so much on your mind. And this is something that's been happening for 20, 30 years. You've got baggage for days. You've got stories for days. We can't cover it all. let's start, if you will, Taya, with your first interaction in the system, how you got into the system and met Kevin Mullins, if you can kind of tie that all together.
Yeah, my sister worked for the Commonwealth Attorney for many years before he became a Commonwealth Attorney, when he was still a divorce attorney. So whenever he made Commonwealth Attorney, when he got elected, Kevin Mullins became his assistant Commonwealth Attorney. I started interning there, kind of like informally interning, training for office management, learning how to do filing, learning how to, look over cases, just learning. And that was, I had met Kevin like in town, like going to lunches and things like that at the Courthouse Cafe, seen him at the courthouse. Whenever I'd, deliver, I would, take mail back and forth and things like that.
And what age were you when you were doing the interning? What age were you at when you were doing the interning?
16.
16, right? Okay.
Yeah. And whenever he was the assistant Commonwealth Attorney, I went over to learn how to take a deposition. My sister was leaving work and she left and I stayed there, and I had a friend's truck. I was supposed to drive myself home after. And then I went over to learn how to take a deposition and ended up giving him oral sex instead and getting money thrown in my face. And he told me to clean myself up and not to tell my sister. And then he proceeded to introduce me to his friends and stuff later on for the next few years.
So this was,
I was about 2021 whenever my mom died.
You were alone with the judge, and the judge took advantage of the situation. And it's like, first of all, it's like you have to treat that kind of question with super kid gloves. Like we don't need the details per se, right? But it's, everybody would have to wonder, like, was it a forced thing? Was it a coerced thing? Was it a young, I didn't understand kind of thing? Because again, I'm trying to get the MO of Kevin Mullins and what kind of predator he was. If he's preying upon children and underage girls,
it was kind of all of the above there. Like it was, I think that he saw opportunity. I was naive. I had been groomed from a very young age already. I had already been groomed by the time I met Kevin. Like this was not new to me.
Gotcha. Right. And unfortunately, that's a sad thing. When girls are groomed from a young age, they get sexualized very young, and then they become easy prey for predator men who see that damaged women. So you could have come into the system already partly damaged, and he saw somebody who was primed.
Exactly.
That's theory.
Yeah.
What was that, Brandy?
I said that's been my theory all along. These kids were handpicked. They were handpicked.
We make
the
perfect
easy targets.
We come from parents who are addicts or alcoholics or have their own legal troubles. We come from homes that are not ideal. We're already vulnerable.
Right.
Already vulnerable.
I'm assuming that Letcher County is really small county, kind of a poor county. I mean, drugs are a big deal in Letcher County. I mean, all around it, right? And it's probably it's a breeding ground for people who are in trouble and easy to keep them in trouble. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you guys kind of really laid down an argument that one could say this is a system designed to get people trapped into drugs and then get them into a criminal history. And then once you get them in a criminal history, you start using them as sex slaves. It's like human trafficking, using drugs to trap people into a lifestyle that they can't get out of.
You got it. Nailed it.
That's diabolical.
They abused the male inmates also, or the male.
It wasn't just the girls.
It wasn't just, they would abuse the males too, and and they worked. The county got so much free labor out of them, which I'm saying, I know punishment, crime punishment and all this and that, but they never.
Well, I think what you're trying to say, and this is a systemic problem in America. We have a we have this ideal of innocent until proven guilty, and yet we incarcerate more of our population than any other civilized country. So how do you have those two things? Because the prison system has become a money-making monster. Like you said, it's kind of like a way of getting forced labor. You can force people to work for you, doing license plates, whatever you want, for cheap-ass labor, because they don't have any rights, they don't make any money. You get them into the system, and it's a juggernaut system that is it's very predatory. I think our whole
It's a
system. We need a lot of
slavery.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Especially drug court, when as an adult signing into drug court and a juvenile also, you have no rights, none at all. If they want to search your purse, they search your purse. If they want to search your home, they search your home. You sign away all rights completely to this system, the drug courts,
They can search your phone, your car. They can come in your house at any time.
It doesn't
They
even
can
matter.
be in a cut, put you in jail for a false positive that you send to the lab knowing it's negative. That happened to me so many times.
Yeah.
And people-
Yes, I would have false positives on drug tests and send them off, and every time they would be negative. And
people would pick this option though over going to jail. That's how bad going to jail was,
jail is a dungeon.
that they would pick that option, and some people begin it up to 4 and 5 years and never get out of phase one. It's a system designed to fail, right off the bat.
Tanya, were you incarcerated in the same jail that Sabrina Atkins was incarcerated at?
Yes.
Any time?
Yeah.
So one of the allegations.
Not at the same time.
That's fair. That's fair. What I want to ask is, she made an allegation essentially that she was afraid of being in that jail system, that system was dangerous, right? And that was part of the reason why she was coerced into offering sex to stay out of jail, and why she was afraid of being trapped and going back in. How bad is that prison system? I mean, do you have insight onto how bad it is? Is it super dangerous, or?
Yeah, it's super dangerous. They torture people.
Tell them what happened to you.
The conditions are deplorable. Whenever I went in, I had this cut on my arm, and they took me to the emergency room. They said I needed emergency surgery. They said, no, wrap it up and take her back. I went back to the jail and lay there until red streaks come out my face. It almost killed me. I was almost dead from septic shock. And that was just the start of it. I was strapped in the chair, pepper sprayed multiple times, strapped in a chair in my panties and bra. They put us in a holding cell and slammed the door in our face. And every time we would knock on the door, they would open the door and spray us again with pepper spray and slam the door back in your face. And they would crank the heat up, and they wouldn't give us water, and they would take our mats. These old ladies that were dying, medical care, they needed to be on hospice is what they needed. But we were showering them and trying to take care of them. They would be over the speaker yelling they was going to charge us with PREA for helping these ladies shower. For the time I got put in the chair, that's the night that they took all of our mats and left all these sick, feeble people just laying on the concrete. Like, what? So we bucked. We was like, no, you're not doing this. You can't fucking do this. Like, we are human beings. We are people. We are people. You can't do this. And they drugged me out, sprayed me, and then they shipped me out the next morning. They finally got me out of there.
So let me I'm trying to articulate this in the way that people can understand. So if the prison system is so bad, where the guards are abusing people,
but now let me tell you, you get to other jails in the state, they're not like that. They follow the rules. Like, you have a mat, you have food, like good food, you have medical care, you see the doctor, you see the nurse, you get treatment, you see the dentist if you need the dentist. It's not like that in Letcher County. You don't have those things. You don't get your medicine. You don't see a doctor. You're rotting in a cell full of mold and disease with 40 other people in an 8-bunk cell. And then they're going to come in and steal your take your mats and make you lay on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, let's be specific. So that which correctional facility specifically are we talking about?
Letcher County Jail.
Letcher County Jail.
Whenever I finally got shipped out of there and got to Leslie County, it was like night and day. That place was so much better. I went straight to work, got a good mat, seen the doctor right off the bat, and then I was in prison within 3 months. I mean, like, they do it right down there. But Letcher County,
Is Letcher
terrible.
County Jail in the basement of the courthouse, or
Yes.
is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They call it the
So you-
dungeon.
They call, well,
I call it
yeah,
the
I mean,
dungeon. That's what I call it.
And so you've got a judge who can literally sentence people and basically
They will
send you
literally
downstairs to the
bring
jail.
people up on the elevator.
There's an elevator from the jail to his.
To the chambers.
Yeah.
To the courtroom.
So
Now, let me just say,
that-
this is the reason the ankle monitor program.
And now, mind you, Ben Fields' wife worked at the jail. She's beat women up that Ben was sleeping with that was on these house arrest programs and stuff. She's come and jerked them up out of their cell when she found out and beat them after her husband raped them.
Oh, so she did
So-
know.
Yeah, she knew.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
she knew. She knew
that's
all
one of
along.
the- yeah, that's one of the questions I had. Like again, for some people who are going
His
to be coming
sister
into
over
this,
drug
they're
court.
not even. We're getting way ahead of them. So Ben Fields was criminally convicted of felony charges of sodomy and rape in the judge's chamber of Sabrina Atkins. The civil trial of that is beginning soon in March. So criminally, he's already been convicted of multiple felonies of sodomizing and raping a woman in the judge's chambers, which he'll try to claim, hey, look, she liked me, she flirted with me, that was on her. But I cry bullshit, and I think, well, not just me.
And he was
the
only
judge-
charged
the
with
judge
the
cried
one
bullshit
because
too.
Jennifer's got dismissed when she was killed.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I didn't mean to
so
interrupt.
what-
I get
no.
I get
So
passionate
what I'm
about
trying to
this.
say is, so then comes the allegation, right? That Ben Fields' wife works at the jail system, and you have to ask: did Ben Fields' wife know what he was doing to women, and the scam they had going on of coercing women on income? Because again, this happened to multiple women, at least 2 that we know of. One of which just died conveniently, so she can't tell her story now. And that there's got to be more. So did his wife know about it? Was she in it? And by the way, I've requested real quick. I've requested public records for the movements of I believe it was Jennifer Hill to see if she had been in a cell moved by Ben Fields or Ben Fields' wife. I can't remember her name.
Angie,
Fields. Right. And they're kind of aloof on getting me that answers. Like they gave me a list of her movements, but they didn't list who was moving her and who had interaction with her. So anyways, you were saying something, Taya, you wanted, I cut you off.
It's not just Jennifer either. There's another victim. We dropped the deposition a couple nights ago on Jody on our show
Oh, no, we're doing it.
of another victim of Ben Fields, but he was only charged and convicted of the one.
Is there another litigation? Is there going to be another litigation coming? Or
It got covered
we're
up.
talking about the one that's rejected.
rejected? Okay.
No, who we discussed on the previous
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, she wants to keep her identity, and we named her.
Yeah,
Kate.
fair. And I don't want to, I have no desire to put anybody's life in danger or talk about something that might be an upcoming litigation situation. So anyways, this is just getting started, right? I'm trying to get to, so like Brandy said, she went to school with Kevin Mullins, so she knows Kevin Mullins, and a lot of people didn't see this coming. It sounds like a lot of people didn't see these guys as particularly bad guys. So how did this system kind of become so corrupt? So is it, does anybody have any insights?
I beg
yeah?
to differ.
Yeah.
The only people that seen them as good guys were the people that was working beside of them in their schemes.
Yeah.
The community knows that they're not good guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what about Mickey Stines? It seems like the people.
Now,
elected
Mickey
him
was a
sheriff,
good
they
guy.
Love him.
Yeah, Mickey is a good guy.
I always got along with me.
He's well respected, and while he's had his hand in some dirty shit, he ain't innocent. He's not perfect. But
He
he
done
never laid
right.
a hand on none of the victims like that. He didn't coerce us. He didn't extort us. He didn't treat us like these other people did, like slavers.
So let me clarify that. Did you have, when you in any time during your incarceration, did you have interactions with Mickey Stines where he would have had the ability to do something abusive or whatever?
He
And
took
you're
us,
saying he
yeah,
didn't.
he would take us up and down to court and stuff. Whenever Kevin Mullins told me I could have house arrest, but Mickey wouldn't let me go on it.
Mickey
He
held that
kept saying,
house.
we'll see. And whenever he come down to take the girls up to court, if you had fake makeup or something, he'd make you go wash your face. If your shirt was too tight, go change your clothes. You're not going up there looking like that.
And then my son was under house arrest with him. And I was never, and because I was a young mom, but you know, he never in any way ever was disrespectful or said anything to me, or you know,
cross lines like that.
he just didn't.
My head's a mess because I there's two things I want to get at. One, it sounds like you just said, maybe I don't know if you were implying this or not, but you know, like Kevin Mullins would be okay about putting you on house arrest, but Mickey would be like, don't do it kind of thing. Did Mickey know that was going on and was trying to protect girls from it? Or
that was right when Ben was taking it over. Mickey wasn't the head of it anymore. He was just the one that was taking me up and down. Ben had just took over the house arrest at that time. So I would have been going under Ben.
Yeah.
See, Mickey wasn't running it no more. I think that if Mickey would have still been running it, he would have been fine with it because he could have sent me on to my dad's, my sister's, somewhere, Brandy's on a monitor. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with that is
that Ben had just taken it over.
Right.
And that's when he was like, well, wait, just wait and see. Just wait and see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And so this is where I'm going with it, because one can argue Mickey Stines himself trained Ben Fields to do the job that he used to do. So Ben Fields was doing the job that Mickey used to do. So one might ask, well, was this happening under Mickey Stines as well? Did he teach Ben Fields how to do this scam, to run the scam? And it sounds like nobody thinks that Mickey was that kind of guy, but that's where you first ask is like, was this going on under Mickey Stines as well? And Ben Fields just learned the tricks of the trade from Mickey, or is Mickey
I think he learned them
really
from
a
Kevin.
good guy? He learned it from Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey might have been more.
And Kevin wasn't the first either. Like Kevin came in to the system that was already set up. Kevin was the one that started this shit. This whole sex ring thing that started in the generation before with our old mayor and
my generation.
Yeah.
This stuff's been going on a long time.
Kevin just took it above and beyond with the rehab schemes.
Actually, careless and I think got cocky with stuff. You know,
who did? Kevin Mullins got cocky with stuff, or
not Ben?
Yeah,
I think all of them did. Really, to be honest, I mean, you got.
I think we still got some degree of that right now.
Yeah. The level of comfortability that for 20 years they've been protected.
Yeah, they don't think that they're going to have to face any accountability. Still,
none.
They still think they're going to be able to cover it up.
So we have so much. I already know from talking to you guys that there's so much we're not even talking about yet. I want to ask you. I mean, yeah, like we can be doing shows for months and not probably get to everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question about your feelings. Can you tell me what you think happened in the judges' chambers? What prompted Mickey Stines to kick everybody out of the judges' chamber? What was going on the cell phone when he wanted the judge's cell phone? Why did he then shoot him? What do you have any theories with that? You know, again, I'm not asking for insider information. I'm asking if you have any theories.
I have no idea about the phone.
Yeah.
But I do know that he was threatened, and the stress and the pressure that he was under, and it's been reported. I don't know for sure if it's true or not, but that he had tried to go to the state police with this before and ask for help. I know that he had been to the attorney general to try to get help. And
Mickey Stines?
Yeah.
So
yes, before all this ever came to a head, he was trying to get help. That this shit
let's slow down. Let's slow down for a minute. So you're saying that you believe Mickey Stines knew that something was going on and had tried to go to other authorities.
Yes,
he did know, because in the what's it called, deposition. Okay, Judge Jimmy Kraft and Robbie Kinser, who is part of drug court, went and told Mickey they was sorry that they hadn't told him about what was going on with Ben Fields. That's in that deposition.
Yeah.
So, you know, Mickey then asked for a state police investigation. When the state police turned him down, they told him that they worked too closely with the sheriff's department, and they didn't feel like, I don't know, some excuse of why they couldn't or wouldn't do the investigation.
Couldn't be impartial because they were too close to it, probably. Yeah.
Right. So, and it just kind of dead ended, you know. And so
one of you said though that after he went to the state police, maybe
And
He went to the Attorney General as well.
We know the
Asked-
Attorney General was involved because it was Matt Easter that works for the Attorney General that was conducting the investigations against
Then
Benfield and Kevin Mullins.
So
Say that again.
That's who was conducting the depositions.
Matt
Easter from the
Easter
Attorney General's office. Yeah,
was from the Kentucky Attorney General's office.
from Russell
So Mickey
Coleman's office.
Steins. So let's break this down. So Mickey Stines goes to the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office is starting to get involved. They're taking depositions in Benfield's criminal case, and this is all while Mickey Stines is still alive. I mean, why Kevin Mullins is still alive, right? And
Yes.
and then somewhere in that process, we're told, or rumor has it, but well, it's not just rumor. It's Mickey Stines' attorney says Mickey Stines was threatened, basically told you better harm yourself or your family is going to get harmed. Something to that effect. It was the wording on the rumor on the wording. And then shortly after, he goes and guns down Kevin Mullins in his judge's chambers. Like, you start to fucking,
you got it
math together.
kind of back up, because if you go through with like what the deposition and different things, when he did his deposition, it was 3 days before was it three? I'm pretty sure it was 3 days.
I think it was 3 days.
3 days before the incident. So, those 3 days, I don't know, like I always looked at it like this. Mickey, in my opinion, was carrying a whole town full of secrets. You know that when he went to go in for that deposition, everybody in that courthouse was on him saying, hey, don't say this. Hey, don't say nothing. Hey, remember, you're my friend. So, he went into this, and with the whole town on his back, basically. And, and I think he snapped.
Well,
and everything.
And I'm glad you said that, because I don't want to. So I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Mickey Stines is deposed in Benfield's thing days before the shooting. And if he's being threatened, I would imagine, and maybe I'm just, bear with me. I would imagine he's got a massive amount of pressure on him at this point.
Yeah.
He's having to tell on cops. He's having to tell on friends. Maybe he wants to do the right thing and he wants to stop the abuse. And so now he's being threatened that if you open your mouth and if you go to the higher ups, you're a dead man. Your family's dead, whatever. And why wouldn't you snap?
He reported that people were watching his house from the back street and everything.
Yeah.
Well, see, he told.
And I believe that. I've spent a lot of time on those streets, homeless, where he's from, where he lives, and we used to see the cops hanging out back there all the time, like just staking people out and shit, like spying in their yards and windows and intimidating people and things like that's a common thing. So whenever he said that in that deposition, that people were watching his house and he was afraid for his family's life. Like, I believe that. I believe that in my whole heart. That
if you watch the video of when him and Clark come back, it was before they went. It was in the thing that he had stopped to try to see Daniel Dotson. Okay. So
try to see Daniel Dotson. Yeah.
Try to see Daniel Dotson. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, and this I might be, and I hope I'm not, but he was the one that was said by Christine Bowen that Daniel was the one that had told Mickey that had told him, if you do not, you just need to,
And for those who don't know, who is Daniel Dotson? Explain to
Daniel Dotson
he's a local attorney, defense attorney, divorce attorney, and family court commissioner.
Yeah, he was appointed by Jimmy Kraft as family court commissioner, which means he decided who got their kids took or who got their kids back or what you had to do to get your kids back. So another one of those guys. Yeah. So he retired. To see the incident happened in September, and by that spring, he gave up his little commission. But he had already ran his mouth all over town. He had made some really crude comments about Sabrina that was burnt me up. But my opinion, I think that day that when Mickey wanted to talk, this is just my opinion. When he wanted to talk, I do feel that he put everybody out, and I think, this is my opinion, they were trying to get a hold of Daniel. Daniel's the only other person involved that wasn't there.
So your theory might be that Mickey Stines kicked everybody out because he wanted to talk to Mullins about things, and they were going to get maybe Dodson on the phone or something like that, and maybe that was what was going on with that.
That's what I think, because because if he told him he had seen his daughter, had went to see his daughter at the high school or something, but and he wanted to see her after the incident. He was very insistent on seeing her. He told him it didn't matter how, he just wanted to see her. But the phone call that in my mind would be, he tried twice that day, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look through it, but he tried twice that day to get a hold of Dawson for what, who knows. But then it's also said that Daniel was the one that told him to do that to himself. So I watch too much crime TV, I guess, but my brain is thinking, that would be the one player that wasn't in that room.
Yeah.
Well, let me should be.
Let me use Mickey Stines' state of mind for something that I want to illustrate why mainstream media infuriates me. Mainstream media showed a video of Mickey Stines talking to officers after the shooting, and he's kind of imploring them to keep their body cameras turned on, to not take him in a private room where they're off camera. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. Don't do this. Don't, and he's terrified. And I'm dropping an F-bomb. Fucking mainstream media spun it as he's nuts. Look at him. He's completely nuts. He thinks they're out to kill him. Well, yeah, they're out to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
He's literally maybe going to the top saying, investigate this. And they're spinning it like he's nuts. He's afraid.
That's why he insisted. That's why, if you think about it, that's why he insisted not to go back into the crime scene, because, they could do something there and say that, because at that time, not a whole lot of people knew what was going on, and he was insisting, you're not taking me back through that crime scene,
And this is what infuriates me. They're trying to, mainstream media immediately try to spin that as, look, he's disturbed, he's mentally disturbed. He thinks people are trying to kill him, as if that's a nutbag thing. But if you look at what's going on, why wouldn't you believe that he was threatened? Why he was literally going to be
live a month. Let him live a month in our area, dealing with our police and the state police and everything else, and they'll see really quick he had a reason to fear. He had a reason to fear. He really did.
From an outsider's perspective, not having, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like Mickey Stines had every reason to be afraid. It sounds like he really was threatened. And so when he says things like, don't kill me, you're going to kill me, don't take me to that room with no cameras, you're going to kill me, that's not paranoid. That's legitimate fear. That's legitimate. Yeah. He has reason to believe that he's going to be killed.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. Again, I feel like, and I hope you guys will continue to talk to me, because I think I want to ask more and more probing questions as we get further along, and as you're safe to do so. But I want to talk a little bit about some of those mysterious deaths now. So Sabrina Atkins, she had this lawsuit against Ben Fields for what he'd done, and another woman joins that case, Jennifer Hill. And rumor has it Jennifer had some really good, juicy information about it, and all of a sudden she just dies. And they just literally reported as, well, we dropped the charges, she died. And I have beaten my head against the wall trying to find out how she died. The best I've got now is actually from new court papers that I found that said the attorneys are continuing Jennifer Hill's case as the estate of Jennifer Hill, and got her son or one of her children to represent the estate of Jennifer Hill. And in it, even the prosecution, or I should say the defendant is trying to say, hey, look, his mom was a junkie. He didn't want to have anything to do with his mom because she was a junkie. He believes his mom died from a drug overdose, or at least has reason to believe it. So that's the best I've got on how Jennifer died, is that her own son thinks it was a drug overdose, which I immediately said, that sounds like a hot shot to me. It sounds like somebody gave her a hot shot and fucking killed her. And
They
but they're
told
going to pin it on she's a junkie, so you never have to believe her word. She's just a junkie. What do
They
you guys
told her
think
what
about
they were
Are
going
you aware that they told her that they were going to make it look like an overdose when they killed her?
it?
Mhm.
I mean, I would
They
imagine
knew.
they did, but
They told her about it. They told her how they were going to kill her.
you know, and it's funny. Well, it's not funny. None of this shit's funny.
No.
I want to point out briefly, because I don't want to go too far on it. We have another case that I follow, the case of the Long Island serial killer in New York. And the chief of police, James Burks, literally got arrested and put in jail because he did the same thing to an inmate in holding. He said, I'm going to give you a hot shot and we're going to kill you. And nobody's going to fucking believe it because you're a fucking junkie. That he got arrested for that and put away for that kind of shit. But that kind of stuff happens. Like that again.
Well, you're
because-
not gonna-
yeah.
The
It's
justice
not.
going to do that, is he?
And they control a lot of our children in CPS and involved in CPS stuff going on. They use that. They'll tell that, you know, your mom's a junkie. You're you know, there's no hope, you know, and they tell these kids things. I mean, Ty's babies was told horrible things, you know, about their parents. And Jennifer didn't deserve that at all. She was a good person.
Right. And what we also need to understand is we need to get a little bit more understanding, I think, in this country about drug addiction in the first place. Like when people are addicted, they do bad things. When you get strung out and so then they use that against people to make it sound like they're a terrible person. But if they weren't addicted, they wouldn't do horrible things, you know? So it's like we demonize people who have drug addictions when they need help. And the drug addiction oftentimes is to deal with some other issue that's not being dealt with. And again, then they see a victim that they can prey on.
They weaponize that addiction and use it against them.
Yeah.
So so let's talk about some other mysterious deaths. Ty, I don't know if you want to talk about it. You have reason to believe that other people may have mysteriously died that are close to you. Do you want to talk about that at all, or you want to keep it?
Yeah, we can touch on it. My daughter's dad, for one, he was killed in prison. He was deprived of his heart medication, a vital medication that he needed to live. And they let him scream for help for 4 days from the hole and beg for his medication. And they let him lay there and die the day before he was to be released. And then they lied to my daughter about it. Whenever they called and told us that he had died, they told her that he died standing there in line waiting to be transferred. And that wasn't true at all. He died in the hole.
And the official cause of death is heart attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
the whole reason he was being held in that prison was because he had a heart condition, and Letcher County Jail was not equipped to handle his heart condition and to give him his medicine. So they transferred him there. He had been on that medication the whole time he'd been there up until 4 days before he died, and they withdrew it and then refused to give it to him. And they said that he beat on the door and begged for help, begged for his medication. I'm going to die without it, for 4 days.
And so without accusing anybody specifically, you feel that was kind of a deliberate act. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the sad thing is you can't prove those things. You can't prove it. They'll just say, hey, shit happens. I mean, I don't know what their excuse is for withholding his medication. Again, super sorry that it's horrendous. It's horrendous what's happening to the people here. And again, you can't, they do it in clever ways where there's no way to prove anything. And so you just have to have people start waking up that it's not a coincidence that these people are dying. There was another one as well. Taya, is there another one?
And then my other daughter's dad, he did an interview on a YouTube channel and then died in a car wreck a few days later, supposedly sober. But his toxicology report came back that he had fentanyl and xylazine and nitazines in his system, which are poisons. Those aren't drugs. Those are poisons.
It's a new superclass of drug, that nitazines.
That's actually classified now. The fentanyl is classified as a weapon of mass destruction now.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful. I've had some experience with people that.
And the nitazines are hundreds of times more powerful than the fentanyl. The Narcan can't touch it.
And again, I mean, one will argue. Well, car crashes happen, you know. So how do you know, right?
Fentanyl don't just show up in your system randomly.
Did he have any history with drugs or?
Yeah, he was he was on his way back to
Well,
sober living. He had just left his papa's. His papa told me he was sober. He had just left his house, that he was doing good. He was going back to his apartment with his sober living unit in Lexington area. And he got killed a couple hours away from home. And it killed another person. He hit another person head on and killed another person. And a teenager was put in critical care. So like so many lives are being affected by this. It's like the butterfly effect, you know?
Yeah.
It's
an easy narrative to tell too. Like if you have any drug history at all, then when you die, if you just put drugs, if you you'd be like, hey, look, they relapsed. They had a relapse. And, so there it was, and it's easy. It's an easy narrative to sell to the public.
And then you got people like me though, that they use, like my grandchildren right now. I've been in court for 21 months trying to see my grandbabies, and they just keep dragging it out. They'll find your Achilles heel. They'll find it. And when they do, I mean, it's just whatever, and we've noticed, but I guess the more we speak, the slower things go. I mean, that's kind of how I feel, 21 months to decide if I can see my grandbabies or not is just ridiculous. Especially with no criminal history or nothing anyway.
Tell me, Brandy, about how you got involved with helping people. We talked about safe houses and stuff like that. Like, how did you get involved with helping in the periphery of people that are trapped in the systems?
Because she's beautiful.
Yeah, because we show up at her house like, help, we don't know what to do. Got this man, got this problem, got this.
How'd you know she had a house to go to? Like,
well,
how did you know to get a hold of her?
My son, when all these kids went to school together.
Yeah, so this is a very
they all knew each other. So when they got in trouble, they all got in trouble together. So, and I was the only mom that was like, well, they might have been others, but I mean, most of them ended up at my house. I was the only one that was like, you're still babies. You're still kids. If you need something to eat, you need a ride, sometimes they would show up pregnant, hadn't even been to the doctor, we figured that out too, I mean, just anything I could do to help them. And
you kind of got known as the mother hen that people would go to for protection and help out with. And
they all still call me mama or mom. I'm still, so, but it broke my heart because, you had these, in my heart and in my mind, they were trying to be so tough, like, oh, I'm going to do that, but inside they were these scared little girls. Yep. They were terrified and they did not know where to go, where to turn, what to do, who they could trust, who they couldn't trust, because they had already been done so bad, by 15,
everybody
16.
We were taught to be able to depend on are the ones that abused and tortured.
That was abusing them. So, sometimes they just needed a mommy for a day or two. They needed to come, lay in my bed and lay and cry and talk, and we'd work through it, and
I still do that. Whenever me and my husband's a fussing, I still go and stay with Brandy for 2 or 3 days. Come and just lay in her bed and eat cookies and cry and be girls, like
they only have themselves to trust.
She's just my person. She's just my person.
Does local law enforcement know about you, Brandy, and how you help people out? Or do they harass you at all? Or
oh yeah, they like I said, my son stayed in trouble, with some of the dumbest things, but he stayed in trouble, and they would use that as an excuse. They would is so and so here. I had cops every day at the house asking, and can we search? Can we?
Tell me about when Brian Dameron stole your TV cable out of your house. Tell me about that.
Back in the day, a bunch of people back home got this bright idea that they could cut phone line and get copper out of it.
Okay.
So they were harassing me, aggravating me, trying to say, and here there was no way possible. So this cop, the one that actually got fired, he's got a record too.
He got in all kinds of trouble later on.
He got in all kinds of trouble either way it went. he started hollering from behind my house one day. I found it. I found it. Well, when the kids come running out of the house and said, somebody disconnected the TV. He thought thought it swore him down it was phone cable, but he stole my TV.
He stole the TV cable. He ripped it out from under her floor.
Brilliant.
Ripped it out from her house. Ripped it out of the wall. Yeah.
So I'm like, thanks. Yeah, yeah, okay. So
it all covered in mold and moss and stuff where it had been up under the house for years. He stuffed it in the trunk of his car. Like he doing something big.
They would do
just for the harassment factor. You know, he knew that wasn't nothing that was stolen. He did it for the harassment factor to put the fear of God into her.
And but it never worked. It never worked because, like I said, these kids they become like mine. You know, they're like my own. You know, they know that they can call me at 2:00 in the morning and be like, "I need you," and I'll drive 2 hours and 2 hours back, and you know, just whatever I can do. You know,
how do you guys both feel about, you know, Court TV paying attention now and News Nation paying attention now and documentaries that are starting to come in, and there's YouTubers like myself that are starting to reach out to you. Does it make you feel more comfort because more eyes means more safety, or does it make you feel more nervous because people are going to start getting nervous about the secrets coming out because it's got national attention? Which way do you feel about it?
More eyes, more
a lot
safety.
of retaliation leading up to this. Like whenever it first all came out, we've dealt with a lot of retaliation. They've come after our kids. Our daughters have been dealing with the cops. The cops arrested my daughter and her husband one night. They weren't even inside their car. Arrested them both for a PI, and then called and told me on the phone that I was lucky he didn't charge them both with a DUI. And then he busted her headlights out and had her car impounded. So we had to pay $500 to get her out of jail, plus $350 for her car, plus pay for the headlights to be replaced. And then Letcher County issued a warrant for her over that. And they put her in jail again. We had to bond her out again. And they tried to get Sarah, Brandy's daughter, to come to a closed police post for a private meeting with no loggers and no parents.
Yeah.
You know, in a county that's poor, stacking on fees and shit like that is a way to trap you into the system because they know people can't afford it. So if they can get you in and they charge you with things and they stack fees and then you miss something and they stack more fees, once they got you in a certain financial position, you're screwed because it's not, you know, there's not a lot of money there, right? So
no. And once for the jobs are so limited. If you've got any kind of record at all, and you know, even a juvenile trying to work and do things, but as an adult too, it's hard to get a job. You know, there's not a lot of jobs to pick from, and if you've got something on your record, you're more than likely not going to get it. You know, opposed to somebody that doesn't have a record.
Well, I usually try to keep these things about an hour, and we can talk for forever. I want to make sure. I hope Jody's still there. She's kind of muted. She's off camera. Hopefully she's still around. I know we got talking, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, where'd Jody go? She's just gone. But I kind of want to wrap it up because again, I literally have so many more questions, but we got to stop it at some place. I think this is a great introduction to who the two of you are, who Jody is from the Defense Rest. I'm grateful that she reached out to you guys, and then she reached out to other YouTubers, and that we have a chance to hear your story. And I know you guys are, you know, probably being approached by other people as well, and so we're going to see more of you in the future. But I hope that we can stay in touch, that maybe we can work together. I have a burning passion to fight against the system and to burn down corrupt systems. I have a real passion against broken judicial system and law enforcement. We've got cops on our show. We've got attorneys on our show that come on, and they all feel the same way, that we've got systemic problems in this country that need to be fixed. So that's my passion. And so anything I can do to help with that isn't going to get somebody killed, I'm all over it. So I'd love to work with you guys all and try to keep up the pressure on that and give more eyes on it so that, because I think mainstream media is going to drop the ball a little bit on the whole story. I want to
mainstream media always drops the ball.
Right. Jody, do you have any closing thoughts? Because I know we walked all over you there for a while. Do you have something you want to say?
It's not my story to tell.
You can't get us to quit. We talk too much.
I talk for a living now, so it's hard to shut me up. So that's my.
Same. It's hard to shut me up anyway. Once it started coming out, I ain't been able to stop it, because the way I see it is that they were killing us anyway. They've been picking us off for a long time, and if I didn't speak up, what am I going to do? Sit here and wait till they pick my kids off too?
Yeah,
because that's the next step. You know, like, so why am I not saying something and taking a chance?
Well, I have to say, despite the fact
my
that
own
you
safety,
feel,
if it saves my kids from having to deal with the system in the future.
Right. I mean, there is safety, like you said, in going public. So but by the same token, I feel like it's incredibly brave of you, because while it's true that there's some safety in going public, you also are putting yourselves at danger, because you're telling secrets and you're telling stories and you know things, and that puts you in danger. So I hope that you guys, have the best, and that we keep you safe, and we get all eyes on it, so that they don't accidentally, that we don't buy bullshit when people just accidentally die in the middle of a huge thing. So thank you all for talking to me today. I hope that we can do it again. It was great meeting you, Brandy, Taya, and Jody. Thank you for putting us all in touch, and I'll hope to do it again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah, me too. All right, stay safe, guys. Take it easy.